met me before in the last session? How many of you are having the first date with me? Or quite less of you. Impression होने का टाइम चला गया, मतलब impression बन गया. The topic is ecology and environment, and I will be basically focusing on Indian perspective, ecology and environment cross. Okay, though it's not our mistake to increase greenhouse gases or climate change or whatever thing we are happening, but since we are a developing economy, we are taking the complete responsibility of what we have done to the society. In return, we will be accepting it. Okay. How many of you are having an arts background? Last time when you studied geography? 10. So 20 years back? Or like me, 5 years back? Or 6 years back? Okay, fine. So I believe you will not have a tough time in understanding. See, I will give you a basic clarity on this board, and after you have this basic clarity, this PPT will become more sensible to you. You will appreciate it in a better way, right? Let's go back to our not 10th, but yes, 5, 6. Okay. Remember about the rainfall, temperature, climate and temperature. You know? Do you know? Climate is what we accept or what we think it will be, and weather is what we get. Suppose there is a summer season in Delhi. Where do we go? We go to Shimla. Why? Because our expectation is that the climate there will be more colder in comparison to Delhi. But if today you go to that place, or in summer that you go and you find that day is quite hotter than Delhi, then the weather is not good or the climate is not good. So that's what. Climate is what you are expecting and weather is what you are getting. We are expecting that we will convert I am Ahmedabad, pata chala I am Indore. Because that's it. Don't take it in a negative way. Dil pe nahi lena pega. Now let's understand a small graph here. Any place is defined by the amount of temperature, it means the amount of heat it has, and the amount of rainfall. Fine? Now you have to answer a few basic questions and then I will move down to my presentation, right? This voice is coming in installment basis or what? ये mic installment basis पे काम कर रहा है क्या? काम कर रहे हो because I myself is. Let's have some basic understanding. If suppose in one particular place there is intense heating going on, lot of intense heating is going on, and that particular land area has too much ample amount of water bodies with it, what will happen? Evaporation will happen, and that will cause to heavy rainfall. It means that particular area will have tropical or you can say equatorial evergreen forest. True or not? This is a general phenomenon. So I understand the graph of rainfall also will be very high. And what you understand with tropical evergreen forest? The leaves will be falling down, but it is not necessarily in the same one particular season. The leaves will be falling down as per their death rate. जब मन किया मर सकते हैं, जब मन किया जन्म ले सकते हैं. एक साथ नहीं मरने का. ठीक है, होले से मरने का. That's it. Okay, getting this? Now, if suppose the heat is in proportional same but less than this, and the water body is also not so high in comparison to this, what will happen? Less of evaporation, so less of rainfall. Okay, so maybe this kind of rainfall will be happening. Okay, the people who are cursing me, don't curse me. I will have a meaningful orientation behind it. So this is tropical equatorial evergreen forest. So what kind of forest will have here? Deciduous forest, right? Correct. What is the meaning of deciduous? It means the leaves of this particular tree will fall down in one particular season. कौन सा season है वो? पतझड़ का season. हिंदी मूवी में ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल होता है जब break off होता है. ठीक है? That is it. That is it. Okay, if suppose I am telling you now, there is a heating is going on, intense heating is going on here, but to have that particular water body, the water body is in fact more or less. So what will happen here? Rainfall will be little lesser. What kind of climate or what kind of land area will have here? You have gone to evergreen forest. We have gone to deciduous forest. Now what kind of vegetation will have here? We will be having a grassland. That's correct. And suppose the heat is same as the grassland, but there is no water body at all. Even it is there, it is very less. What you will have? Of because your desert may be a cold desert or hot desert, depends. So this is the normal orientation of my world. मेरे गोले का यही है, ऐसे ही होता है, ठीक है? क्या होता है? If there is ample amount of heat, ample amount of rainfall, I will have equatorial region. This is what is happening at equators, true or not? This is what is happening at tropics. And in the tropical area, if the heating is more and there is no water body to comprehend it, I have grassland. And if I don't have anything, I have desert. This is the mirror image of equator that side, and this is the mirror equator of bottom side. But I understand in northern hemisphere I have more of continents, and in southern hemisphere I have lot of water bodies. This is true. Now, if you have this basic understanding here, let's talk about ecology and environment, right? What do you know about the ecology and environment? This time I will not change my slide, even before I don't listen answer from it. पहले तो पूरा खाना हो. Tell me, ecology क्या होता है? You can make a place if you sit. You can sit there. This is from right. Up. ऊपर. See, if I go by the very scientific analysis, what is ecology? Ecology is an interaction of a living organism with this environment and it is fellow organism. What do you understand by ecology? Today I am going to make it a interactive session, not like that one, because today this is a class. So what is ecology? Ecology is a interaction of a living organism to another living organism and to the other particular abiotic environment. Suppose you people are living, you are interacting with your environment or not? How? How are you interacting? This interaction is the necessity of this class. The way, the defensive mechanism and the exploitative nature which we are interacting with the environment is the necessity of today's class. If I talk about normal interaction, we are breathing. You are breathing or not? You are breathing out from outside your environment. The oxygen which you are taking is from the atmosphere. So this kind of interaction is happening. You are also interacting with your co-inhabitants. Okay? You are interacting with the line. Are you? You are interacting. Where is that line? You are interacting with lines. I mean to say, any living organism who are interacting with its own environment, be it a biotic factor or abiotic factor, or interacting with the co-inhabited, is called a ecology. Now ecology will have balance, ecology will imbalance, something like that. My second point is that let's talk about first the basics. Habitat. What do you understand by habitat? आराम से पढ़ के बताओ हाँ बताओ.
The living area.
The living area. Okay. This is the habitat. Now habitat has been terrestrial, aquatic, different type freshwater habitat. Habitat is a place where a living organism can stay. That's what we call is a habitat. Okay. Second thing is that food chain. What is food chain? What is a food chain?
Sequence of
Flow of energy.
no.
Flow of energy is a food chain.
Yeah.
See, there is a small saying, survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. If I want to survive, what I need to do? I need to consume something. And if some other people want to survive, they want to consume me. Yes or no? So what happened in a forest area? Grass is grown, grass is eaten by whom? Herbivorous animals, and herbivores will be eaten by carnivorous animals, and then finally if it die, then the decomposer will be acting upon it. Okay, this is how the food chain. So if I talk about this things about the BPT, I understand there is a living orientation in which ecology makes up that particular. And this is the food chain. Fine. Things are going very smooth as of now. Yes, this is a one very important topic. What do you understand by climate change?
Change in the pattern of.
Change in the pattern. You can look at my face. It's not so bad actually. It's good only. BPT तो अच्छा ही है. Now look at me and say what do you understand by climate change?
How the climate pattern changes over a period of time in a particular.
You know, somebody asked me what is the name of what is the meaning of my name? बोला मेरा नाम का मतलब सोनू है, SONU. I'm asking what do you mean by climate change? How do you define climate?
So what is the interesting composition or the composition that there is an increase or decrease which is affecting people? So
See, it's a concept of averages. If suppose in one particular month the average weather is supposed to be hot, that particular climate or that particular season can be called as a summer season. If it is having a cold orientation, it can be called as a cold season. So climate has different perspective. Climate is the subject of averages. So now suppose in summer What is the month in India which is having summer? May, June, July. So what is the expectation from summer?
Temperature will be high.
The temperature is hot, and suppose on one particular day you find the temperature to be cold. You are bound to show that even if you are not in Delhi, there was a rainfall yesterday or there was a rainfall somewhere, which is the cold breeze are blowing and the temperature is coming down. So there is a set of rules that on this particular 3 months there will be summer, 3 months there will be winter, 3 months there will be rainfall. But suppose due to some variation, you find that in summer days are increased or in winter you are still feeling hotter. This kind of orientation change, what we call is a climate change. Okay, I will be studying further that what is the impact of on India. Can anybody tell me if I go to, remember climate change is what? The normal phenomena of winter, summer or rainy season is changed, and you can find some alternative things happening. Maybe a winter will have a summer day and a summer day can have a winter day. Now what is the impact of climate change on India? And what is the climate change in India first?
Sir, first the heat levels are rising.
First?
The
Heat levels are rising.
And this coastal areas, because of the rising temperature, they can be drowned. There's a risk of drowning.
Okay, fine.
I think agriculture
rainfall
because of the low
patterns.
rainfalls.
Acha, when I am talking about what is the impact of climate, you should talk like political orientation क्या हो रहा है, economic क्या हो रहा है, social क्या हो रहा है. That's what we need to talk about. Agriculture, what is happening to agriculture?
Monsoon timings are being delayed.
Monsoon timings are being delayed.
Southwest.
Whether it is happening because of El Nino, La Nino, it is because of having of the climate change. I'm asking about the decrease. See, one answer I got is correct is that the sea level are rising. If suppose I take one orientation, if sea level are rises, उससे क्या होगा? Coastal area will be summers. I understand that. What rest? Fishes will automatically come to land. Might go down. Where?
Land area would be. We already have infrastructure according to the previous coastline, so that will be inundated.
See, you have countries like Mauritius, Maldives, Sri Lanka. These are the first island country. If there is a sea level rising, they are going to be submerged. And our godfather Indian countries have signed a beautiful agreement that if this happened, you can come along with your bag and baggages and stay in India. You're most welcome. Atiti Deva Bhava. That is the concept we are having. So the most dreadful situation which I feel is that if there is a rise in the sea level because of the change in the climate, all these inhabitants of these people will be coming to India. Second thing is that what will happen? Erratic change in the weather phenomenon. I'm not sure whether he was right, whether there is going to be rainfall tomorrow or rainfall after, and we are not prepared for it. And 58% of the people of your country are dependent on what? Agriculture. If there is a erratic rainfall, or there is no rainfall in one particular season, see the impact of food security we have in India, because there are a lot of hungry people who do not have food, and that's why a country like India need a food security bill. So that is all. In other countries, they are almost prepared because they are not so much dependent on the climate orientation. But in here, we do not have infrastructure to back our agriculture fit through irrigation methodologies. That is why we are totally dependent on, be specific, southwest monsoon.
Sir,
Let's see. Yeah.
With how many countries do you have that agreement?
Which?
If we will.
देखो एक छोटा सा रिक्वेस्ट है, distinguish between a Google and a me. ठीक है? But Google is different and I am different. So इतना hardcore data पूछोगे पसीने छूटेंगे और कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा. ठीक है?
नहीं, but there's actually some agreement.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Don't worry. वो इंडिया, चाइना, इंडिया, यूएस बात करूँगा, तुम्हें बता भी दूँगा कि कितना ज़्यादा डिप्लोमेसी चलता है. ठीक है? I will talk to what I will be talking about the relevancy of international deal. Okay? अभी क्यों pinch कर रहे हो? Let me move now. See, let's talk about the evidence of climate change. This is what you call this? This was there, and see what has happened now. Change. So this is the situation as of now. So what will happen? This water level is rising here. Okay, and this can further increase the problem, we understand. So this was the glacier. This was in the year, I believe, 1914, and this is what you can say as of now. Okay. Peru का है सर. आगे बढ़ो. Now see, this was the impact in India, which I was talking about. So whatever point you have mentioned is also there. And why I am very much specific about the tropical regions? Why I am so much specific about the tropical regions? That's why I am saying.
Cyclones and typhoons.
that is, I accept your point. The hard work we are doing here itself, ये तो ठीक है. More. See, God has given you one room heater, that is equator, and two AC, which is North Pole and South Pole. So you yourself, if you see the count of heat which you have, the maximum heat is there at equator, and after that heat is there at tropics. So you are already heated. If you get more heat, what will happen? Even the Himalayan glacier will start to melt down. So the basic impact, the aggressive impact, or the gross impact will be there on the tropical in comparison to temperate region or Arctic zone. Okay, that is true. Move ahead, and this is all there. Food security will be there. New diseases. Move ahead into next slide. Okay, so this is global warming. Now tell me, what is global warming?
Rising the
Overall
ice.
average increase in temperature.
Some specific answers.
So we have
What is the breakup of the gases which we have in atmosphere?
79%.
78% nitrogen. Then how much percent oxygen? And then in 1% we have, it means the greenhouse gases are present in the last 1%. See, there is one simple thing is that if this is atmosphere, this is hydrosphere, and this is lithosphere, in the amalgamation of this, there is a place called. So if there is a good combination of atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere in equal strata, then only can life be possible. If you disturb any of the things, life cannot be possible. Fine. When I am talking about global warming, see, there is an average temperature in which we can survive. There is an average temperature in which we can survive. What are those gases which contain or hold heat? Normal greenhouse gases are CO2 and methane. Okay, these are the two gases which can hold heat. Now you tell me, in the natural phenomenon, what is happening? In the natural phenomenon, when solar rays are coming on and putting on the land, what is happening? Radiation is happening, it is getting reflected back, but there are some gases which are trying to trap this heat. And this particular phenomenon is called natural greenhouse effect. This is required in order to make our planet warmer and livable for us. But because if this natural greenhouse effect is not there, what will happen? The climate will be more colder, it is not possible for human beings to survive. This is a normal phenomenon which is there. Now here is the data. Now let's change this slide. So this is there. In the natural greenhouse effect, what is happening? Heat is getting radiated, some heat goes to the outer space, and atmosphere gets ample amount of heat so that life can be possible. Lekin, what will happen if there is an enhanced greenhouse effect? Atmosphere will not get out the space, less heat will get out, and the more heat will be trapped in the inside the atmosphere, below the stratosphere. So what will happen? The temperature, the average global temperature of your Earth will increase. Now this is true. Now what will happen? What are the after effects of this? Glaciers will melt, वो हो जाएगा, और
Most areas will drown.
more. This you are repeating of the last we have already talked about. More, what will happen?
World War.
Huh? More, what will happen? Tell me.
Sir, the ability of soil to retain moisture. will-
सोच के बताएंगे. अलग अलग खोद कर में भी है तो. See, basically, our concentration is that two things are there. One is carbon dioxide, second is methane. Carbon dioxide and methane are two such components which has been increased due to human activity, and this has disturbed the balance of heat balance. Heat imbalance हो गया, which is there in the part of it. Okay. Now see what is happening. How do we generate carbon dioxide here? By burning of fossil fuels. Another factor? क्या है?
Deforestation.
Deforestation. Now see, burning of fuel is fine because I understand if you burn fuel, what will happen? Carbon dioxide is generated. But deforestation has dual impact. One, see, these particular forests act as a carbon sinks. Okay, because in the process of photosynthesis in the daytime, what plants do? They take in carbon dioxide and convert it into a oxygen. So they are also converting oxygen to it. We are providing a free supply of oxygen. Second, carbon sinks. If you cut down the trees, whatever the carbon dioxide which has been trapped in the trees, it is lost, and plus the future orientation of tapping it is also gone. And you know what? If carbon dioxide is released, it stays in your atmosphere for millions of years together because there is no process of again recycling it. This is there. Now let's talk about methane. From where do you derive methane? The basic
Natural gas.
rotten things that happen by the bacteria. That polar rotation is called what? Methane. Now, how do methane will help in the carbon greenhouse gases to this increase the heat?
20 times more potent than space.
See, I tell you one data. Until unless human beings get direct impacted by this particular global or climate change, they will not be able to do any good amount of things. I tell you, there is one chemical called sodium pentothal. Heard about it? Sodium pentothal. Why I am saying you this? Because if you understand this on the human body, then you can understand the impact of these gases on the nature. Because we are not in a direct touch as of now to get the negative impact of greenhouse gases. Okay? Now, sodium pentothal is a chemical. Till the time it is there in the chemist shop, it's fine. But the moment you inject the sodium pentothal into the bodies of living beings, problems start. See, we all are breathing at a particular momentum. If you inject your body with sodium pentothal, your respiration will decrease to 1/10. Means respiration which you are doing 10 times, it will decrease to 1. What will happen?
Heart will pump.
No, it will not. Because even if it's pumping out, the oxygen delivery is not taking place. Your process of breathing itself has decreased. So it means whatever cells was requiring oxygen at a particular interval has stopped down. Then your brain will not think. It can only deliver those things which has already been recorded in your mind. You cannot fabricate things or you cannot lie. Now you have seen a movie called Dekha Tiger? देखा था ना? अपना सलमान भाई था उसमें. नहीं देखा था. 100 करोड़ में तुम्हारा कोई योगदान नहीं. So that is what they do. A raw agent, whenever they used to capture any particular alien or any terrorist, they used to inject them with sodium pentothal. What will happen? That particular person who is injected with sodium pentothal cannot think, and then he will be giving only those information which has actually occurred to him, and he will be telling a correct information. But he is standing where that particular alien or that particular terrorist is there on which soil? Democratic soil of India. And since it is infringing Article 21, which is fundamental right of the country, right to privacy, right to dignified life, sodium pentothal was even banned on the uses of human beings, be it a foreign enemy, alien, terrorist, whatever the case may be. Now, since this was a direct impact on human, that is why we have so aggressive methodology of law making process and stop banded. But since things are having a long process, we do not have. You know, we have 200 legislation and acts on the climate change and environment, but none are aware of it. Can anybody tell me any laws on the environment and forest? 1, 2, 3, any law you know on forest? We are not sure because we are not aware of the processes. Okay, you can change this slide. So I know 2 gases are there in the greenhouse gases. One is carbon dioxide, second is methane. So methane are this cultivation of rice. In fact, if you are exploiting or you are trying to mine this fossil fuel, extractions go through, during that time also we have methane. Now I would like to add a point here. You have heard about carbon monoxide?
Yes, sir.
Now you know what, in villages what happened, people into lack of electricity should need to have generators. They need to have generators, and they were not aware of the concept and the dilemmas of the carbon monoxide. So they used to open generator in a closed room. And what was happening, there were many cases also. People in the night time, whole night used to smoke what or used to inhale what? Carbon monoxide. Now carbon monoxide has 400 more times affinity to mix with the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is that particular body which is carrying oxygen to different cells of the body. Then what happens? Supply of the oxygen comes down and then you die a peaceful death. Okay, same thing got repeated in Mumbai floods. You know, it was all road jam. What people did, they put on their glasses out and they started their ACs. What happened? Few of the time when water got lost in their cars, they were not able to open the doors, and since the AC were on and the engine were on, the carbon monoxide started to come inside the car, and many people died in the traffic lights area in Bombay. So this is one of the cases or repercussion of these kind of gases. Okay, so it's not about the greenhouse gases increasing the temperature, but there are a lot of other impacts of it. Please move ahead. Okay, this is very easy to understand that atmosphere retains heat. This is there and absorbed, and then finally it will turn into what? It will turn into a heat energy. This is the data which is showing that how much heat is transported to in the atmosphere. You tell me 2-3 basic data. Whenever sun rays are coming into the atmosphere, will the heat will be happening by the sun rays directly coming to the earth's surface, or the radiated earth's sunlight will generate more heat? How do you know that?
Because
Since I have asked,
because CO2 absorbs the infrared.
CO2 absorb the
Infrared part, and Earth reflects back in infrared.
earth reflects back
In infrared.
infrared, और तुम एक बार कह रहे हो कि CO2 infrared absorb करता है. See, I tell you, the maximum amount of heat, if you calculate on the thermometer, you find at 3 p.m. the heat is maximum, because during that time the light which is getting reflected back will absorb the maximum amount of heat. There is one concept called albedo. There is one concept called albedo. You know what is called albedo?
Reflecting back.
It is the orientation of reflecting back the light by one particular color body.